Hey there, Math 7 students. I want to talk to you today about linear equations and graphing linear equations. So, a linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line, right? It has the word line, right? In linear line, right? Solutions of a linear equation are the points on the line. So they are the values that make that equation true. And those values, if we plot them on a coordinate plane, they form a line. So let me show you how this works a little bit. Say you have the equation y equals 1/2 x minus 3. And we need to first generate a table of values. Step 2, we will plot those points. And step 3, we will connect those points to form a line. I'm getting my ruler ready. So let's plug in these x values. I chose -2, 0, and 2 to plug in for x. And so I'm going to do a little scratch work here. 1/2 times -2 minus 3. Well, 1/2 times -2 is -1. Minus 3 would be -4. And so -4 is the y value that goes with the -2 for x. If I plug in 0 for x, we would have 1/2 times 0 minus 3. 1/2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 is -3. And 1/2 times 2 minus 3, well, 1/2 times 2 is just 1, and 1 minus 3 is -2, so -2 goes there. And so we want to plot these on the coordinate plane, these 3 points here. So we'll start with the first one, -2, -4. Remember, we'll go 2 to the left, because this is our x-axis, and then we have our y-axis, so this would be the point, -2, -4, and so then we go down 4 units and we put our point, right? 0, -3, we don't travel anywhere on the x-axis, we're already at 0, and then we want to go down 3 units and we put our point. And 2, -2 means we go to the right 2 and then down 2, and we put our point. And I can label these points to help you see what they are. You don't have to label your points on every graph that you draw unless they specifically say, hey, label your points. But it is often helpful to label a few points. And we'll talk about that more over in time, about which points would be helpful to label. So there's a graph of y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Now, horizontal and vertical lines. The graph of y equals b is a horizontal line, and it passes through the point 0, b. And the graph of x equals a is a vertical line, and it passes through the point a, 0. So let's graph some more lines. The graph of y equals 4. Y equals 4, remember that's a horizontal line. So we're going to find the point 0, 4. So it goes through 0, 4, 2, 3, 4. There's our point right there. And we know that it's a horizontal line. And so I get my ruler out. And we're just going to draw a horizontal line right there. Now, if we checked any point on this graph, what would the coordinates be? Well, this one would be 2, 4. This one would be 4, 4. All of the y coordinates will be 4 because we just graphed the line y equals 4. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, then we need to graph x equals -1, and so that will go through the point -1, 0. And so we go to our x-axis, we start at the origin, we go to the left 1, and that is our point -1, 0. And then we draw a vertical line through that point. Extend it there. There's our vertical line, -1, x equals -1. The cost y in dollars for making friendship bracelets is y equals 0.5 x plus 2, where x is the number of bracelets. How many bracelets can be made for $10? Let me first say there are multiple ways to solve this equation, but we want to show you how to solve it by graphing the line and using the graph to solve. So we're going to start by plotting a few points. If I plugged in 0 into this equation, 0.5 times 0 plus 2 is just 2, right? What about 0.5 times 2 plus 2? Well, 0.5 times 2 is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. And if I have 0.5 times 4 plus 2, 0.5 times 4 plus 2, 0.5 times 4 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So we have a few points that we could plot. It goes through 0, 2, which would be right there. It goes through 2, 3, and 4, 4. And we could continue to plot points, but you can see that it goes up 1 and over 2, 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 up 1 and over 2. And so I'm just going to continue that out so that I don't miss any points, so that when I connect my line, it is super accurate, right? Oh, notice that I did not include any negative numbers in my table. I'm not really interested in making negative bracelets, right? Who wants to make negative bracelets? Not me. If I don't make bracelets, I'm making 0 bracelets. So yeah, we'll stop at 0 and only worry about positive numbers of bracelets. Okay, so if we had $10 to spend on making bracelets, that's our cost, y, right? And so I'm going to draw a little horizontal line here to help me see where it crosses the graph. Oh, look, it's crossing our graph right there. So that point has a y value of 10. So what is the corresponding x value for that point on the line? And it is 16, right? So 16 bracelets would be our answer. 16 bracelets can be made for $10. I hope that you have learned a few things in this video, like how to create a table of values and write ordered pairs for a given linear equation, and how to plot points to graph a linear equation, and using a graph to solve an equation. I hope this helps you with your homework. I hope you are all well. We will see you next time.